Good morning, podcast. Welcome to a new episode on the Pierre Lambert podcast. Today we have Benjamin Jaworskyj, another photographer, landscape educator, and YouTuber here, and we're at Photokina in Germany. So pretty excited. Welcome to the podcast, Benjamin.
Thank you.
So Benjamin, just so you know, I just dragged him out of a massive line of people who wanted his autograph. It's really fun. You're a big star here in Germany.
Depending who you ask.
But
you had Photokina. Some people watch my speeches and stuff. Yeah.
That's so cool. All right, guys. So you guys asked a lot of questions. So I picked 3 of them for myself and Benjamin. So we're going to answer together.
Okay.
I'm going to let you go first on the questions. And I'll add my point of view on it.
Okay, cool.
All right. The first one is from @WatchTheMeteors on Instagram, and the question is, how do you think creatively with shots? And I added to that question, for example, when you arrive to famous landscapes.
Yeah, I did actually a whole presentation about that, so I can tell you perfectly what I take. So I can tell you in 5 steps what I look for. First of all, of course, for me, landscape photography, a great landscape is the first thing I look for. So I search for great locations and stuff. Then the second thing is I search for the good light, and especially with the right timing mixed. So good light is usually with a good timing mixed together. So in the morning or in the evening hours, even before sunrise and after sunset is a good time for me to photograph and to be out. Usually I'm 1 hour ahead of the shot that I want to take at the location, take a look around, or even 1 day before. So I'm not a person who runs around all the time and just takes snapshots. I'm I think about an image, I visualize an image, and then I try to capture it, like Pokemon, you know? Gotta get them all.
I like that.
Gotta catch them all. Yeah, and then when I have those things together, then I look for the composition. This is the 4th part actually. So first location, then the light, then the right time and right point of time, and then I look for the composition. And then the last thing I do is usually use kind of your own signature, your own style. And what I like a lot is long exposure stuff. So I try to get the right clouds to do long exposure shots, like make them blur, or look for water spots where water is included, or fog that you can make long exposure with, or light and fog all together. And of course I look for nice foregrounds, so I'm always looking for things that lay around on the ground, like rocks, like sticks, like stupid stuff, but that is important in the end in the image.
Yeah, you add it as a subject. And I'm gonna ask that question. Do you feel like if you go to a super famous location, do you feel sometimes like everyone did that photo? No.
Because gonna catch them all. It's like maybe you know Panini albums when you have World Cup and soccer and stuff.
Like card collection.
Yeah, you want to collect the stuff, and you just have that image maybe in your mind of that location, and every image looks different, and every photographer takes different images, has a different point of view, different taste, different style, whatever. So it's funny when I do workshops, and I've been to a location many times. Every time I'm there, I take different images. I care about different stuff, and I get different images. And the whole group, 8 people, they get different images.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. So I don't know what your first name is when you ask the question, but next time, guys, when you ask question, put your first name. It's easier for us to talk to you directly. But yeah, I think it's kind of the same. I realized, like, because we've been traveling 12 countries, 12 months, like full year now, and we went to obviously very famous locations, but I realized that I went to Horseshoe Bend in Utah. Arizona, sorry guys. And there were like 200 people around me, but everyone was taking different photos of the same place.
Yeah.
So obviously some people will try to recreate the exact same image, but like you say, I like trying to add your own personal twist in a famous location.
And it's not about the others, it's about you. So you take the images because you want to take the images. That's the art process. I don't do the images because I want to have an image that other people like. I want to create the image that I want to take. So I never think about
that's good.
The other people that's standing around me, and maybe this guy is taking the same image. It's not possible because he has to stand at the exact same position like you do and everything. And then time, light, and weather condition and whatever comes into place. And what I would recommend you guys is that you just stay at a location for a longer time. Even if it's a famous location, just stay there for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever, and just look around. And then you find stuff that other people don't see because they rush in, rush out. And when you just spend time at the location, you really enjoy it, and that's what it's about. It should be enjoyable and not like, Pokemon Go and just check in and go away.
No, it's really good because I'm running around a lot, just because we hardly ever stay very long in the same locations.
Okay.
But I do exactly what you say. I arrive to a location, I look around, and you guys might have seen it in the video that I did in Utah, like how I take the travel shots and stuff. And I arrived, I saw everyone was there, I looked at it, I clicked it super quickly, and then I saw where no one was, and I went hiking like a little bit high, and then maybe it's a crap shot, you never know, but maybe it's a unique and you can just play around there, you're alone, it's kind of nice.
Yes.
So, to wrap it up, just remember the photo is for you, like no one else. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's same location or famous location, just try to put your own twist to that. I think that's a good creative challenge, is putting your own twist to a location that is famous actually. Cool, thanks man. So then we've got Hadovenohi at Hadoven. All right, let's start again. All right, next we've got Hadovenohi on Instagram, who is asking, how do you take sharp landscape photos? And I want to add, just not for landscape. If you shoot portraits,
general.
how do you get it sharp?
You need to get the right focus. In general, the whole sharp and not sharp thing is over discussed. It's just, I don't give a shit about if it's really sharp or could be a bit sharper or not. Usually in landscape photography, I focus on infinity. So when you got the point on your lens where infinity is, in my kind of photography where I'm very wide angled on 16 millimeters full frame, I'm usually, everything is sharp because it's that wide angled, and when I'm then on the infinity, everything from, let's say, 1 meter away is sharp anyway. Don't matter which aperture I take. And then of course I close aperture, like go from 8 to 16, something around that range, and then everything is just sharp. It's so easy to take landscape photos actually. So you don't overpull and you don't go too open aperture, and then everything is good. And don't focus too much in the foreground, everything is good. And in portrait actually, what I can just recommend is learn how to focus manually, use focus peaking if you use a camera that has focus peaking, and then you don't care about focus anymore because you just can do it. And even without focus peaking, then it's easier to just focus, and I don't care about focus. And even if I have an image where the focus is not 100% on the first eye, but on the eye in the background maybe, then I don't care.
The image is
if the image is good, the image is good. It's
if
only
it has a good story.
Yeah, it's photography thinking. I've seen images at H&M. I don't know if you know that. It's a big in Europe here and maybe.
They have it everywhere.
Oh, okay. So it's a big clothing store, and they had like big images printed out, and they were out of focus. Some of them, and I thought, okay, that's crazy. And the face was blurry of the model, and I thought, okay, you printed that shot, and that says a lot of it. Only photographers care about that stuff. That's not saying normal people, but other people that are not into photography too much, they don't care. They just say, oh, that's a nice image, I like it.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and Instagram has proven that.
Yeah, and Instagram it's the same. You have like 36 megapixel or 42 megapixel in this camera, and then you scale it down to Instagram size, 1000 pixel, you sharp it, and then everything is sharp again.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, don't overthink it. And I think if you're getting any kind of blurry images, there might be two reasons. Your shutter speed might be too low for what you're trying to shoot.
So tripod is good for landscape photography.
Or remember, I don't know if you guys watched that video, but I talked about minimum shutter speed also, that you can dial in your camera, or just know at what shutter speed everything's gonna get blurry. But if you go below 150 of a second and you're handheld on landscape, maybe you will be a bit shaky. So just watch out for that. And in terms of aperture, the higher, like above 8, usually, I mean, it's hard to miss. It's really hard to miss.
It's easy, yes.
Yeah. Now, if you ask the question for night photography, that's another story. But we'll let one of you ask that one.
Yes.
Now I've got a question for you, and because you shoot a lot and you put out a lot of videos also, because Benjamin puts out videos in German and in English every week, so he has to switch the language.
Yes.
So you have to think about it. My question is, do you ever have a creative block, like you don't know what to shoot, you have no idea either for video or for photos, and if yes, what do you do?
I actually don't have that thing ever, because I'm so creative that my problem is that I have not enough time to do everything that I want to do. So I have like a list in my phone of things that I want to do and that I want to create. Even if it's music, writing, photography, I'm so highly creative that my head sometimes seems to explode because I want to do so much stuff, so I have to break down. But what I can recommend you, if you have a blockade, or if you just want to get things maybe done or create things, that you just write everything down. So writing is the first step, and when you then write down, I try to find things that stand together with the thing that I'm. Let's make an example. Let's say I want to capture better landscape shots, and I photographed everything and I don't know what to photograph anymore. So set yourself a frame around it, because everybody thinks it's strange, it's not that creative to set you a frame because I want to do like everything, and but you get more creative when you set yourself to a frame, to a subject. So let's say you only photograph landscapes when the sun is setting, so you have to have. Now you have different challenges. Or you say, I only photograph landscapes in black and white. Or you say, I only photograph landscapes with the light of the full moon. Or you say, I only photograph at night when there's new moon and there's no light available, but Milky Way illuminates the whole landscape. Or you say, I only photograph in Germany, I only photograph in France, I only photograph in a certain region, and so on and so on. And because of that, because then you have to know how your brain works. Your brain works with filters, and when you give the certain filters, it's like when you search on Google and give filters to that, then you get a better search and you find better things. And when I say I look for foreground on the location, I see foregrounds because I say my brain look for foregrounds, and I did it many times. So my brain filters that stuff and says, oh, that's a nice rock, that's a nice thing, because I look for that thing. But when we just go out on location and say, today I'm gonna photograph whatever I will see. Anything. That's just okay. Then the photos will be anything. So, and that's the thing. And whenever I do something, I try to set me a very strict frame, and I stick to that frame. Sometimes I can adjust certain things, but I try to then stick to that frame.
That's really good. That's really good. It's like you're basically setting yourself a creative challenge.
Yes, kind of.
So imagine you have a creative blog, guys, and you're in your city and you find everything boring, and that has happened to me. Like, I'm in a city for too long.
Yeah, you know
I'm
the
like,
city.
oh yeah, I know the city. I don't want to shoot anything. Okay, now set yourself, as you're saying, like put a frame in your brain and decide, yeah, I'm gonna shoot only night photography of, I don't know, like trash in the city. That sounds really weird, but why not? You know. Or you find
the trash bins, because trash bins sometimes look interesting.
Yeah, or you take a beer bottle that is in glass, and now you take it at night and you put it in front of your lens, and you just think like, I'm gonna take only shots like that, and see, and you'll see, by the way, it's gonna make like super interesting results. If you like abstract, it's gonna get great. That could be an exercise.
Or
if
only
you're
long
bored.
exposure, or only in one area of your city, or you try to portray the people of one certain area, or you want to show the diversity of the people in your city. There's so many things that are possible that when you try to start thinking about how can I set the frame, you will see, oh man, I have so many options that I have to choose from now. But that's great, and then you start to be actually creative again.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Ooh, I just got one. If I were in New York City, I would have one which would be like, tell the stories of taxis in New York.
Yes, that's the typical shot that I think about in New York is a yellow cab and everything. It's cheesy shot, but everything black and white and only the yellow cab. I have to do that shot at least once, and then you have to care about. Okay, how do I arrange everything? What do I want to have in the background? Do I want to have famous sites with the yellow cap and everything? And then the creative process starts.
That's
then
so
you know
cool.
what time do you have to go, what does it have to look like, and everything.
That's really good. I think that's a great one, Benjamin.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
a really nice one. I didn't expect that. No.
What do you think?
Well,
What
I
would you answer?
thought, you know, when you're in a creative blog, I talked to Ray Collins, which is a self-photographer before. So Ray Collins was saying, so sometimes he just doesn't really know what to create anymore because he's used this subject a lot. So what he does is leave his camera, because he shoots always by the sea. He leaves his camera at home and go in the mountain. Doesn't take his camera, spend a week there, come back, and then he's fresh and has new ideas.
That's about mind clearing then.
Yeah.
You want to clear your mind.
Yeah, you dump
That's
your
good.
mind, you set a frame. I think that those are like awesome tips and tricks. You guys should definitely try if you're ever bored. And Sean Tucker was also recommending looking at other photographer maybe, or like anything that could inspire you to get out and shoot before you want to photograph is a good idea also. It just motivates you a little bit.
What I can add to that is, sorry, I just ate something and I have it still in my mind.
Someone left a box of Haribo, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear it,
super
and it's
delicious.
giant.
And it sticks between my teeth.
It's a very bad idea for the podcast.
Okay, one thing I wanted to add is when you have like a creative block and you feel very stressed, which is similar to you go on the mountain, try to clear your mind. You have to go back to the point where you get bored. Because when you're stressed, you're never bored because you're so much in a rush. You think about this, and you think about that, you think about this, and you have to get back to the point where you are bored. Because when you are bored, and that's what I read about psychological documentary once, when you get bored, your brain starts to be creative again. That's like a reset button. So when you have the feeling, today I'm very bored, I don't know what to do, I'm so bored, man, I'm so relaxed, I'm so bored, then it's the perfect time to think about everything again, because then you're like resetted. That's when you lay on the beach, you know?
Yeah,
sometimes you lay on the beach, you think, oh, I want to go hiking, I want to do something, but because I'm so bored, and that's perfect, because then you start to be creative. The best ideas come when I'm very bored.
I was very bored during my job when I decided to left and become a photographer, guys. Just saying. I think great point. All right, Benjamin, that's awesome. Thank you so much for answering.
It was a pleasure.
Do you have any question for the audience?
For the audience?
Yeah.
Question?
Like a question you want them to either think by themselves or answer. Could be about anything, about dogs, about photography, about video.
You can maybe think of now what you will photograph next, because that's your next challenge actually. You have to go out and take great photos. So maybe now go out and just try to put yourself a frame and ask yourself the question, what challenge or what frame will I now set for maybe a project that you are planning?
Oh, that's good. I like that. Guys, let us know. Tweet us at Pierre T. Lambert, that one is easy. And now,
or maybe what they did already.
What is your Twitter?
Twitter, I don't use anymore.
He doesn't use Twitter. Leave us a comment on Instagram at can you spell it for them?
Jaworskyj, it's actually. But you find it, I think you will somewhere
link it. I will put
it
in the description of the show note, but maybe people are driving, that's why.
Oh, okay, but you can check out my English YouTube channel. It's Learn From Ben. Very easy because my surname.
Easy.
Yeah, because my surname is difficult to write.
Okay,
so I decided the English name is Learn From Ben. So check it out on YouTube.
Cool. All right, guys. So Learn From Ben on YouTube, and just tweet me because I still use Twitter at Pierre T. Lambert. I'll share the answer with Ben. All right, Ben. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
that
man.
was awesome.
Weirdest handshake in the world, but it's only sound. It's good.
No one knows what's happening, but that's pretty cool. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on your next adventure on YouTube.
Yes.
What up, podcast? Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have enjoyed. Maybe you're listening while you're going to work, while you're working out, while you're going to shoot. Please, if you enjoyed the episode, share it with your friends, share the podcast. Maybe you've got friends on Facebook, a Facebook group with photographers or creators in general. Please pass it on. And also, big shout out to Ben because he's been a delight to have on the podcast. He had a super busy schedule. He took the time and did it anyways. Thank you so much, Ben. Guys, go check out his YouTube channel. It's Learn From Ben on YouTube. He's just super nice, so please do that for me. And guys, remember, get out there, go shoot, try something different, try something new, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.